All right, let me continue on with Agero, and I'll let my other amazing co-moderators respond to the questions and comments in the chat. Let's talk about Agero roadside assistance. So for those of you who don't know, over 100 leading corporations strengthen their business and drive loyalty with Agero. They use their advanced mobile technologies, customized solutions, and data analytics with actionable insights, all related to roadside assistance. Agero provides emergency roadside assistance to customers that have the emergency roadside service or ERS benefit as part of their automotive insurance policy or their new vehicle owner's package. So a lot of times when you buy a new car, you'll see that the dealer will let you know that you have emergency roadside assistance that goes with it. A lot of times it's in conjunction with Agero. To learn more about this particular client, go to agero.com. Every day, what you will be doing is you'll be servicing inbound calls for roadside assistance and other service requests from clients' customers and or client account representatives for assistance with items such as a vehicle that won't start, flat tires, keys locked inside a car, maybe the vehicle is out of gas, or maybe the vehicle was in some sort of accident. As I'm sure you know, these calls come in 24/7, 365, so that's the exact type of service that is available. Marty is saying, is anyone talking? Does that mean people can't hear me? Can I just do a check and make sure folks can hear me? And or client account representatives for status and clarification purposes. You'll transfer inbound calls or outbound calls to other client-designated internal support departments or client account representatives. You'll do outbound coordination to clients' independent service providers as needed. You may do some possible follow-up calls to independent service providers for clarification and for additional calls for secondary services. I'm sure many of you are already familiar with roadside assistance in general. Maybe you use AAA, or maybe you use USAA, or some other roadside assistance program. I'm sure you're very much familiar with how this works if you do. If so, this could be a great program for you to consider because you already have a lot of familiarity with it. Okay. To add to the things that I talked about before, just so you know exactly what you're going into, you're going to present probing questions to identify the need of the customer based on vehicle and operable situations. You're going to identify the customer's location using Google Maps and other client tools. So you're going to have to be comfortable in using those types of things and being able to go online to do all that and feel comfortable in that arena. You'll provide policy coverage details based on the specific client program. You'll secure a service provider to assist the customer based on the parameters of the policy's program. You'll provide status updates to customers calling after the initial request for assistance was processed. I think a lot of you would agree, if you're stuck on the side of the road and, you're waiting for a tow truck and things like that, it means the world when someone picks up the phone and says, hey, I called a towing service. Just want to let you know they're about 20 minutes out or they're half an hour out, just so you can manage your expectations and just know how long you're going to be waiting there, or if you have to call a friend or anything on those lines. So that can make a difference. You can service inbound and possible outbound calls in English to clients' customers and or client account representatives for status and clarification purposes. For this class, the class is going to be about 23 days in length because there's a good amount of information to learn. That's going to be the instructor-led and self-paced portion. From there, you'll do the blended apply, which is about 5 days, 2 hours in class, 2 hours of live calls, and 2 hours self-paced. And then live call taking, which is about 2 days. You'll do 4 hours each day. You will start earning revenue as soon as you start taking calls, so in that blended apply period. As you can see here, the course time each day is about 4 hours in class and 2 hours of that self-paced work. Again, that self-paced work is just so important to get accomplished every day. You will have pre-course work for this. For those of you who have already expressed interest and enrolled in this class, please note that you will receive the coursework, the pre-course work, by email from your instructor about 3 to 5 days before the course starts. So that's important. Ashley just asked, how do you know what the clients pay? Well, Ashley, if you're a company owner, you will look at the opportunity announcement for company owners, and it will tell you exactly. If you're not a company owner, you need to reach out to your company owner, and they will tell you exactly how much revenue you can earn. Because of our business-to-business relationship between Arise and call center companies, we don't dictate how much companies have to pay their agents. That's completely up to them. So we don't do that. So you have to check with them. Okay. For this, in terms of course requirements, service partners must complete all self-paced modules and assessments. They must complete all exams scoring 80% or higher. They'll have 2 attempts to complete those exams. They must have 100% attendance to classroom sessions and successful completion of a mock call prior to day 25. They should participate in all call taking days as indicated above and achieve an 85% QA score on live certification calls. So that's your quality assurance score, how you're being rated there. For this program, you're looking at a statement of work that's requesting an average 30 intervals or 15 hours per week. Again, intervals are available 24/7, 365. So if this is sort of a side gig for you, this is a great opportunity to service nights and weekends and do just that. Or even if you want to do it just before the course, or just before you go to your other job in the morning, something like that, you can definitely do that too. Weekend requirements, we're looking at 10 intervals or 5 hours that need to be serviced on Saturday and or Sunday. Interval service requirements, as I mentioned before, we're looking at 30 intervals per week or 15 hours. And you must achieve 90% commitment adherence. So folks, in terms of metrics, we use the term commitment adherence. What that is that you are showing up when you say you're going to show up, like I talked about in terms of Comcast. We know that issues happen. We know that quite often you you have something that happens, whether you get sick, you have a family member that gets sick, you have power outage or internet outage, or something happens with your computer, something on those lines. So we know that happens. We account for that. That's why we say your commitment adherence needs to be at 9 as opposed to 100%. Very similar to the last one. Okay, you should have those strong communication and customer service skills to do this, where you can empathize with the caller and prioritize the caller needs. Again, most of the times that people are calling in, they're calling in because something really bad happened to them. You know, they may have been in an accident. They had a flat tire. Their keys were locked in the car. Something that's causing a lot of stress and emotion in their life. You have to be prepared to exude patience and help them through that. You also need to be able to communicate clearly and concisely. Why is that? Because I will tell you, most people who are in an emergency situation, whenever they're talking to someone, it tends to sound like Charlie Brown's teacher. Wah, 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 wah. And and I say that sort of jokingly, but that's the truth. I don't know if any of you have ever been in, a crisis situation. All of a sudden, everything's just spinning around. So you really need to make sure that you can communicate clearly and concisely and help that person through that difficult situation. You need to have great problem-solving skills because these people have issues. They're going to need you to have creative problem-solving, help them get through their issues and get things fixed for them quickly and efficiently, because if they're on the road, they're going somewhere. They need to be somewhere. They need your help, and they need it immediately. And then the third thing, like we mentioned before, professional, that drive to continue to improve, that discipline to adhere to posted service times, and that flexibility to post additional service times as needed. In terms of metrics for this particular program, we talked about that commitment adherence. You want to keep it at least 90%. CSI top box, unfortunately, folks, I don't know too much about this. What it has to do is customer satisfaction, being at the top levels of customer satisfaction. You want to be there 90% of the time or more. You want to be in the lower levels less than 10% of the time. Okay. Your average handle time should be between 300 to 700 seconds. So keep that in mind. And your quality assurance score should be at least 85%. Again, all of these will be reviewed in certification with you so that you'll have much greater understanding what they're about.